Martin Magnuson, Swedish Embassy.
Stephanie de Ridder, Netherlands Embassy.
Rasmus Mortensen, Danish Embassy.
Diplomats from 25 countries showed support at Canada's embassy as Michael Spavor learned his fate. Today, China's embassy in Ottawa accused Canada of forming gangs to put pressure on the Chinese side and claimed it was completely futile. Canadian Ambassador Barton said Canadian officials are still trying to understand Spavor's sentence.
11 years and then deportation. He wants to get home. Is there a chance, to get home earlier?
China sentenced Canadian Kevin Garrett to 8 years with deportation in 2016. Deportation would normally occur only after the sentence is served.
Within 36 hours, I was deported. So my hope for Michael is that the same would happen, because the Chinese government can deport him at any time.
Former Canadian Ambassador Guy Saint-Jacques was closely involved in that case.
Of course, at that time, we were able to get him deported the day after his sentencing. In this case, clearly, it's a message from China that if you don't do anything, this guy will spend 11 years in jail.
Mr. Trudeau has been offside with respect to China for 6 years.
With an election looming, Conservatives are calling on the Trudeau government to boycott next year's Winter Olympics in Beijing. Saint-Jacques agrees, saying Canada shouldn't lend itself to another Chinese propaganda effort like the one in 2008.
And Canada and the U.S., after speaking with allies to get as much support as possible, should announce that Canada and the U.S. will jointly offer to host the next Winter Olympics.
I think what we're missing, and the opposition is pushing on, is what is our policy towards China?
Some say assembling allies for symbolic displays only goes so far.
And I think we need to see the kind of policy the Europeans are coming up with, the Americans are now looking at it. We should be doing this.
Last month, the European Parliament voted for a new policy on China, including a bigger pushback against Chinese government disinformation and an attempt to ensure that Europe is not dependent on China in areas like trade, technology, and defense. And it also includes a plan to negotiate a new investment agreement with Taiwan.
And so how is China reacting?
Well, China really doesn't like the last part, Ian, the part about Taiwan. In fact, the Lithuanian ambassador to China was at the Canadian Embassy to show support for Michael Spavor, but he was told today to leave China, and that's because his country has allowed Taiwan to open what's basically an embassy there. But certainly across Europe, we're seeing a strategic rethink about China and a much more systematic pushback.
Thanks, Evan.
Thanks, Ian.